Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of PopCan. In today's episode, some comic book reviews and a DVD review, but first some movie news. The big news this week is that Star Wars Episode 8 has begun filming in London. The news was announced this week that director Rian Johnson has begun principal photography at Pinewood Studios. Benicio del Toro and Laura Dern join the cast. Now for some comic book reviews for two titles from Chapter House Comics. First off, Captain Canuck Issue 7. This issue starts a new story arc in which the Captain and his team are targeting Mr. Gold's operations, while the Captain also searches for the missing Marla Ritchie, but a mysterious cat-like individual seems to be one step ahead. This story is an easy point of entry for any potential new readers to the Captain Canuck title. Truthfully, it made me want to go back and pick up issues 1 to 6 to get the full story. The artwork from Leonard Kirk is sharp and easy on the eyes, and the writing from Kelman Andrasovsky is good and easy to follow. In a day and age where titles from the big two publishers are convoluted and tough to follow, it's refreshing to see comics that are easy to consume while remaining entertaining. Captain Canuck is one of those books, as is our next comic, The Pitiful Human Lizard Issue 5, also from Chapter House Comics. In this issue, the Human Lizard and a team of misfit heroes combat a team of supervillains called the Frustrated Five in real-world Toronto locations. Another success for Chapter House, this book is very entertaining, pleasing to look at, and reminds me of other books I've enjoyed in the past, like The Tick and Mystery Men. Although it's very much its own thing, it manages to be both humorous, but without being silly. Kudos to creator Jason Liu. It's also pretty cool to see a geographically accurate Toronto represented in the book. I look forward to reading more of both of these titles from Chapter House. Now for a DVD review, I pass you on to John, our movie correspondent.
Camp Motion Pictures has recently released The Bone Garden, directed by Mike Guttridge. The film tells the story of Alice Hardy, who can't help but notice some strange goings-on after her new neighbors move in. It isn't long before students from a local college start to go missing, and police become curious as well. I would call The Bone Garden more of a suburban domestic drama rather than a straight horror, but there are definitely a fair share of murders to keep the viewer interested in watching. The final act is quite good and helps to make up for the movie's slow pacing. The Bone Garden has a number of connections to other horror films, both intentional and implied. Tracy Savage plays Alice Hardy in the film. Ms. Savage also appeared in Friday the 13th Part 3, and her character is named after Jason's first kill. Her husband is played by Paul Kratka, who also appeared in Friday the 13th Part 3. Ron Milkey from the original Friday the 13th also makes an appearance, and Alice's dog is even named Jason. Further movie references are not limited to the Friday the 13th series. Tammy Cates plays Laurie Curtis, a mashup of Laurie Strode and Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween. Throw in characters named Ben Tramer, Samuel Myers, and Pamela Myers, and the homage becomes more apparent. By the way, the story takes place in Carpenter County, which I'm sure will also sound familiar to horror fans. The references were fun, but I must admit to being distracted from the main story because of the sheer number of them. I'm John Miori, and I give The Bone Garden 3 out of 5 pop cans. You can find out more about The Bone Garden online at thebonegardenmovie.com.
You can get your own DVD of Bone Garden from www.alternativecinema.com. In our next edition of PopCan, you'll see a novel review and toy reviews. If you have a product that you'd like us to review, drop us an email at popcan@brettkelly.net. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. We'll see you in our next episode. See you on the flip side.